Okay, so let's start. Hello, hello. My name is Mai Virno. I'm an artist educator at Playful Ground in Monterey, California. And this is my Sunday drawing session. I started this last Sunday, and today is the second drawing session. And as I have that in title, I'm gonna talk about positive and negative drawing today, and with some examples that you can actually follow and make your drawings. And today's references are something seasonal, so perhaps you can follow the steps I teach here today and turn it into maybe original cards or something for the upcoming holidays. So let's start now, and I'm gonna have the chat open. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer during and at the end of this session. If you're watching this as a recording, also please let me know if you have any questions and or something that you want me to cover in the future sessions for your drawing needs. So let's see what I got here today. Ta-da! So I guess it's a little bit time lag here between my talk and what I'm doing here again. So anyway, can you see? There it is. So I'm gonna show you my presentation, and within the presentation there are times that you're gonna be working on your drawings. So let's get started. So today's topic is positive and negative drawing, and as I had it on the thumbnail said, simplify the view. So I'm going to talk about that in relation to this topic of positive and negative. First thing I want you to see is this. I guess it's called the Rubin's vase, which I didn't really know till recently, but have you seen these images before? I probably first encountered this image when I was a little kid and thought, that's interesting to look at. But I didn't know what exactly these images meant until I started studying art and more particularly drawing. This is really closely related. This is about positive, negative, and how you see, you probably know this already, that you see, for example, on the left image, if you look at the middle, the black area adds positive space. That's where the object is. You see a vase. Then moving your eyes to the right image, then you look at the black space again, which is on that around the vase, and then you start seeing two faces. Then the vase was positive became negative, and the two faces were negative. When you see vase as positive, it becomes positive on the right image. So shifting of perspective changes what you're able to actually see as an object or subject matter in your reference. So then I wanted to ask you, these questions are coming up next. See if how we can apply this to drawing. So just imagine you're going to try to draw those images we just saw and think about these questions. Can you draw a vase? You're going to try to draw a vase, but you're going to draw two faces. if you draw those two faces, can you actually get a vase image at the end of your drawing? And the other way around, can you draw two faces by drawing a vase? I ask these questions to my drawing classes, and I always get different answers. So let me know what you think, and probably you can get the answer through this video while we're going to talk about other things about positive and negative. But these are the questions that I want you to kind of think about while working on the drawing today. So things you need are the same as last week, but not everyone was here in the last week. So just couple pieces of paper, blank white will be great. It doesn't have to be special paper for drawing sketch. It's just copy paper, notebook, whatever you can grab. If you have specific paper for art, drawing, etc., that's great too. Anything will be better if you don't have any lines in the paper, but if that's the only thing you can grab, you have access to right now, that's fine too. Anything that you can draw on. And a pencil, couple of colors will be good because we're gonna compare different drawings that you're gonna make from different references, and I want you to be able to see the differences between those. So two colors will be great, but if you only have one pencil, that's okay too. You can still see that. And if you prefer to work with pen, that's okay too. Just you cannot erase unless you have a special pen like I do, the erasable pens. So if that's the case, you don't need an eraser, but if you have a pencil and wanted to have ability to erase some lines, go ahead and grab an eraser as well. So those are materials for today's drawing, and I'm gonna get to the drawing. Positive drawing to start, and what we are going to do today in this session with the positive drawing is you're gonna be given 2 minutes to draw outline from a reference that I took yesterday as a photograph. Then I'm gonna show you a different reference that's also made out of the same photograph, and you're gonna be given 1 minute to draw that second reference. You will see why it's 1 minute, not 2 minutes. And we'll continue, but those are a couple of things we're gonna do with positive space. And what I want you to pay attention to while drawing is same as last week as memory observational drawings. It's the essential shapes, big pictures, big shapes, as well as focusing on outlines. Means you don't need to worry about a lot of details, shadings, but outlines, big shapes to start realistic drawing. And look at your reference closely, as well as pay attention to what's happening in your drawing, back and forth, back and forth. That. So please let me know. Hope we can have more people join, but I'm going to just keep going. So if you are watching this as a recording, have all the materials ready, and we're gonna start drawing. So just to put this, key to success for this whole drawing session today is draw what you see, which I introduced in the last week. It's easy to say and hard to do. From the observational drawing. So if you haven't seen my last session, yeah, after this video, please check out the last one for memory versus observational drawing so that you can develop more skills based on what we're learning here. And drawing is a process. That's what I said at the end of last week. And so I want you to trust the process. At first, your drawing might look kind of a little funny if you are not used to drawing this way, but it's gonna be okay and you can get really good result if you just trust the process and keep going. Don't judge your drawing until you finish it. So those are a couple of keys to success. And next slide. There is quite some. Okay, so let's start. Oh, wow, interesting. I'm still learning technical side of this. Here we go. So this is your reference today to start drawing. And what I want you to do in 2 minutes to draw, obviously, those two pumpkins. And at the end of the day, maybe you can have a good drawing, or you can learn how to draw pumpkins, and maybe you can make your own unique original card to send out to maybe your friends and families or from you. Anyway, so 2 minutes, draw the outline of these pumpkins. Pumpkins! Very seasonal. We just went to a pumpkin patch yesterday and I took a bunch of pictures to use for this. So this is one of a lot of photos. That I thought it might be useful for the season. So outlines. Then if within 2 minutes you're able to draw a good outlines of these two pumpkins, go ahead and add more lines to the shapes. But first thing and the most important thing here for you to make sure is those two pumpkins, the shapes, outlines are as close to the reference as possible. So look at the shape of it instead of focusing on the details, which can happen a lot. So 30 seconds left. Ten seconds. Okay, so that was 2 minutes. Were you able to draw at least basic outlines of the pumpkins? The next reference I'm going to show you is the simplified view, which is the theme of also today's session. Simplify your view that those pumpkin pictures have all the details that are in a real view of pumpkin patch, but just to start beginning at the beginning of the drawing, you might want to not look at all the things that you can see in your reference, but in your head process the image to look something like this. It's coming. That. So this shows, if you remember the vase and faces, this is kind of similar way of seeing things, although as I said, it might look kind of funny because now you know those are pumpkins and you saw all the details. But the positive space is where the orange space is. Orange shape is positive shape. That's where pumpkins are. So your object, subject are in your reference. And the blue space is called negative space, which is the surrounding area, background, you might want to call the outside of the positive space, what you're trying to draw. So I'm going to give you 1 minute here, and I just want you to draw the shape of the orange part in 1 minute. So let's start. 1 minute. Start now. Look at the orange shape and draw the outline of the shape in that way which you see in the reference. Focus on the orange. Does it look different from what you are seeing in the last photograph? Was a lot of things going on. This is simplified version, but exactly comes from the same reference. I just manipulate it on Photoshop to make it simple. So 10 seconds left. That's 1 minute. I want you to take a moment and just kind of reflect on the experience, difference in experience for you to draw something from the photograph and something from this very simple flat image. Which one was easier? Is there one was easier than the other for you? Harder? I'm not sure, but hope that this flattened way of seeing something, from taking all the details out but just the outline of the shapes, will help you to start capturing good shapes from the reference that you're using for your drawing. Then we're gonna talk about negative. So I hope you can also see the difference between the drawing you made from the photograph and the drawing that you made from this simple shape in half of the time. The reason for that is, of course, seemingly easier. And the second, so let me know how you're experiencing with 2 different images on your side. And the negative shape, negative space, we're gonna do here. I see? Oh, there it is. So next, I want you to draw the negative space, which means that I am going to show another image that's also from the same picture, but this time you will be focusing on the shape that's around the pumpkins. Still the same essential shapes and outlines, that's all I want you to capture. I did this semester with my students, and some students had harder time drawing in this way because they're not used to doing it. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes in this one, although it's the same shape. And really try, if you've never done this before, really trying not to look at the pumpkin part, but look at the shape that's around the pumpkins. So let's do it. So I said orange. Again, it's the orange part I want you to focus on. But this time, orange is in the outside place. Last time was inside. So trying to look at the orange and try to draw the edge of the orange space in 2 minutes, just in case this is hard for you to really try. And 2 minutes start now. Please let me know how you're doing. And any questions, if you have, please comment. I'm happy to answer any questions about today's what we're doing now and or what we did last time. If you are watching this as a recording, welcome, and please also let me know how you found me, how you're doing, where you are at, both your location of residence and with your drawing skills. 1 minute passed, so 1 more minute trying to draw the edge of the orange. This is a little bit of maybe mind shift is required for some of you. "30 seconds left." "10 seconds." That's 2 minutes, so hope you're able to capture that and also get used to seeing negative space. That's the point of practice. We we tend to look at some objects, what really shows what as things or people or scene or something, but to capture correct shapes, looking at both positive and negative. I'm going to talk about that, but will be really, really helpful for your drawing development of your drawing skills. So hope you are, at least if you're first time doing this, it might feel funny, but hope you continue, then this becomes a habit for you, then we'll definitely, I promise you, you're gonna have better skills by being able to do that. So Also, I want you to look at all three drawings that you have made so far and see if you can tell any differences between those three drawings, and can you identify where it's correct in your drawings and which drawing looks closest to the reference that we've been looking at. In my class, I photoshopped them, some of students' drawings, and put it over this kind of image and compare those drawings on top of the image. And interesting thing we discovered was that a lot of drawings are done from negative shape, negative space, had really close shape to the reference. So for you, I'm not sure how you can do it. You can screenshot of the video and try to see your drawings to the reference, but that's really important, being able to identify the difference between your drawings and the reference you're looking at. Maybe you can do Photoshop like I did too. So you got three different drawings that you done with lines from different references. First one was just pure photograph. Second one was to be a positive drawing. And the third one as negative drawing. And pick the one that you think it's the best outline of all three. And the next thing I want you to do is to add some details inside of the shape that you drew. And I put another reference that's hopefully it's helpful for you to draw more lines, adds details inside of those funny shapes that you drew, probably, especially those two positive negative drawings. And see if you can fit the other parts maybe easily with those little bumps that you saw in the reference. And I will give you 2 minutes to add those detailed parts, some lines, stems, bumps, things. So I'm gonna wait for YouTube to YouTube, it looks like slower than how I'm seeing this here. So I hope you find those three drawings are different. Overall, our findings were if you combine them, maybe you can get actually the best drawing out of them, out of positive, negative. But for now, pick the best one you've made so far, and let's try to add some details to those drawings. I realized something I was supposed to do. I did. That's why I kept waiting for that presentation to come up. Still learning. I'm hoping that this time, last time seemingly the video was slower than my voice. Here we go. But hope that this time they're thinking better. We'll see. I can't really tell you. So this is the lines that it's again Photoshop find edge filter and made it into look kind of like line drawings. So use this as a reference and add inside more details in one of the drawings that you made so far from different references. So 2 minutes and start now. There aren't a lot of details shown inside or on the surface of pumpkins. This is because the lighting wasn't so bright. The sun wasn't really there yesterday. It was kind of foggy, cloudy day. So the contrast was low in that photograph. So probably this is more helpful for those stems to be added and little some lines here and there you can see. I'm gonna show you another reference that might also be helpful to add more details. So drawing as a development process, I have a few different reference for you and 30 seconds left. Can you add some details to your outline? Big shapes, essential shape drawing. 10 seconds. That's 2 minutes. Maybe you could add some stems and some lines. I should have done that. Oh. So the next reference I wanted to share, I'm going to give you 1 minute here. Of course, you can stop it and do more drawings on your own time. But the next reference is it's the black and white grayscale version of that same photograph I showed at the beginning, so you can see a little more lines, a little more details in this photo. So I'll give you 1 minute to maybe add more details that you might be able to see in here that you didn't see in the line drawing ones. So 1 minute. To draw the pumpkins. So unless you have time left, don't worry about those leaves around them. Just focus on adding more lines so you can see how lines moves inside of both pumpkins. We're not doing any shading here yet, so once we get to that kind of technique, so we'll talk about how to see light and shadow